Hello and welcome to the Simply Free Little Talk. I am your host, Free Little, and I am very excited because I have a special guest today with me. I have Mr. CJW, and he is a recording artist that you never ever want to miss an opportunity to hear him sing. If I tell you, when you hear his vocals, when you tune in to hear his testimony of a journey in the industry, you will be so inspired. So, without further ado, let me bring in CJW. Hello, how are you doing?
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
Good, good. I would love to start with you have a phenomenal journey.
Thank you.
Long before the view, long before the voice, I'm sorry, long before the voice. You want to share some of the things that you've done musically before the voice?
Yeah. Well, I started out singing in church, of course, and I was throughout school
Hmm.
um, in all the choirs and choral, things like
Yeah.
that. And I went on to college, and I began to sing in all the choirs and choruses there. And then I was in the vocal jazz combos, which we got to do contemporary works there. And so ever since I can remember, I've been involved in some kind of music or singing group. So it's been quite the opportunity that I've had. I got to live in London for a couple of months and sing with the London Community Gospel Choir, and it's been a it's been a journey for sure.
Well, amazing journey, extraordinary journey, actually. So, when you decided to audition for The Voice, what was that experience like? The whole Jennifer Hudson mentorship and her throwing that shoe at you. Talk about those things.
So I actually auditioned twice for The Voice. I
Okay.
auditioned in their cattle calls, once in Chicago and once in New York. And then um, after that, the next year, I had done a couple of bar competitions in New York, and I just got done with one, and I said, I don't know if I'll do that again. And I had a friend hunt me down and say, listen, you need to do my competition. And I was like, I don't know if I can do any more bar competitions. I don't know if that'll
Wow.
be my speed. So I did it, and I did not know that he was a former producer on X Factor and stuff like that. So he got a call saying, can you recommend 10 people to audition for The Voice? And so I was one of those people. And, I got a private audition, and, the rest was history.
It
And
is now history. So we get to talk to CJW, and we get to know the things that you're doing now as a result of that friend. There's always a good friend
yes.
somewhere helping us along the way,
Oh,
and I
yes.
love that. So this is one of the things you have worked with so many different artists throughout your years. You shared that he's a New York native, guys. So, their talent just goes beyond in New York. I just love the state of New York because there's great talent there.
Yes, there is.
Great talent. Yes. So, Jennifer Hudson was like a mentor to you. But before she became your mentor, she threw her shoe at you because of what? I love that part.
So yeah, she threw her shoe at me because she really enjoyed what I was doing.
She
And
did.
and when growing up in church, when somebody's real good, you better look out
You better
because
look out. That
you
shoe's
never know
coming
what's
for
going to
you.
be thrown at you. And so it's so funny because the year before, and I don't know if she remembered at the time at that
Mm,
moment, but a year before, 2 years before, I think, or a year before, I sang. Um, my friend was in The Color Purple on Broadway, and he
okay.
invited me to this party that she threw, and I sang for her then. And I remember her throwing these
Wow.
napkins at me.
She
Uh,
threw that.
yeah,
I love it. Well, you went from napkins to a whole shoe. So
oh
that
shoot,
means you have just exceeded her expectation of your amazing vocals. And you do have quite a range,
thank you,
quite a range. I thoroughly enjoyed your wonderful presentation of Take Your Time.
thank
But Take
you.
Your Time is very special to you. Why?
Mhm.
How so?
So this is Take Your Time is the first. I like to say is the first song that I've released as
Mhm.
an artist,
Yes.
because this journey of when I first started this, it was like I just want to put out inspirational music,
Mhm.
and one of our producers, we Sean Hornsby.
Yes, love him.
Can't He's like, when you do an album, or when you can't just, it just can't be the good times. That's not an album. You got to tell a story, and so people want to know and want to relate to the good times and the bad
Yes,
times and the dark times. And so
all of that.
I think take your time. I really wanted to dedicate it to my dad because, again, this was
Yes.
my first release as an artist, and
Mhm.
my dad was one of my biggest supporters, one of
Mm.
my biggest cheerleader, and anything musically I did, he often supported. And I often say that I would call him and let him hear a song, and then I forget to tell him, like, do not put this out, like, do not share this. But by the time I call him back, half my family has heard it. It's been Hank
Oh.
Baker's job, so he was very supportive of my music. So
Absolute love. That's all that is. Absolute love.
yes.
So your experience with Brian Hurd, you mentioned Rashawn, you mentioned the people you've worked with, some of the individuals, but with Brian Nelson and Sound Heard, what was that experience like for you?
So my publicist Yvonne Forbes said, there's somebody I want to introduce you to.
Yes.
She said one of my clients, and it was Brian. And the purpose of us getting it together at first was just to do a song. So
Really?
yeah, we were just supposed to do one song to get something out there, and it went from one song to us being on phone calls weekly, to talking about um, you know, songwriting sessions, to end up
Mhm.
to eventually talking about maybe doing an album. And so here we are, almost a little over a year later, and working on an album. So
Here
it's
we are.
absolutely insane. But they've been so phenomenal. They've been so
Yes.
spectacular in teaching me what it is to be in the music industry, what it is to be an artist, and what it is to really hone your craft. So
And that's golden right there. Now you have
it's
a
priceless.
wonderful publicist. It's priceless. Absolutely it is. But you yourself have been in the industry and around the industry and had some opportunities as we previously mentioned. But to
Mhm.
be signed to Sound Heard, have a wonderful publicist as well as an agent. Just
Yes.
share some of the things that you've experienced along the journey with your agent, your publicist, as well as Sound Heard.
So yeah, so well, with my publicist, with Yvonne, I remember
Yes.
I was leaving for Argentina. I was traveling with the Harlem Jubilee Singers, and I did their show before I left. And I got back, and she called, and she said, I'm losing sleep at night because I'm wondering why you're not out there more, and why
Yeah,
your name is not
that's
noticed more.
right.
And so she said, it's really bothering me. So she said, I want you to think about it. And so I thought about it. And so she said, she wanted to take me on as a client. And I remember her saying, give me a year.
Mm,
And it was, listen, that first year was very hard because I was like, listen, this, I'm not really making money. And I got to pay for these services. But I will tell
yes.
you, honestly, I remember she said, give me a year. And I remember when I was talking about this with somebody and realized, wow, it's been a year. And
Wow.
things really started to happen and started to take off. And so she kept her word. And so that was
Yes.
amazing to me. And to be, once she introduced me to Brian, and Brian introduced me to Reshawn, and um, they talked about what they wanted to do and the work they wanted to do together. And, and in 2022, I don't, it's not really necessary for
Mm,
people. You don't have to be signed to a label, but I can say that I'm so glad that I have that
yes.
family, that backing, and that support. And it's been an amazing journey. I'm learning so much,
Yes.
and so I'll tell you, it is hard sometimes when you feel
Mhm.
like you're grown and you're and you're finally coming to your own. But to understand that there is a label and there are people that are molding you and that are shaping you. Some days it's it's hard. So,
I
but I'm so
understand that.
grateful. I'm so grateful that people are taking time to invest in me
Mhm.
and to pour into me. It's really a blessing because a lot of people don't get.
That is so true. And you're being cultivated by those with a great experience.
It. Yes. Oh yes.
You have two, I call them legends in this industry. They know
Mhm.
the business, they know this industry inside and out. So you're being cultivated, like you just stated, and I love that you stated that several times. You're learning so much.
Yes. Oh
That
yeah.
makes the difference. And then you're working with people who have integrity. They honored their word.
Yes.
They've
Yes. I
proven
mean,
themselves. Yeah.
especially today, I tell people all the time. I said it's so
Hmm.
hard. I feel like people have changed. It's
Yes.
so hard to find people who are integral in their word. And so I'm
Absolutely.
very blessed and privileged to have such people in my corner.
You really do. I tell you, I can say this from my own personal experience with them. And that's what I try to do, work with individuals who, I said, we don't work with shabby people. We work with people of
Come
integrity
on.
and people that
Yes.
can honor their own word. If you say you can do it, then do it.
Then do it. Yep.
So I'm glad to say that to you. So let's talk more about what do you experience? Because every time I hear you sing, take your time. There's like this new person that comes out of you. This voice comes up out of you that is just so inspiring. And I listen with like, wow. Every time I hear it, I feel like I can take my time. I don't have to rush, but I need you to know, take your time with me. I'm precious. That's what I get when you sing. So, what is it that you experience?
And it's so funny because you sit with the song for months and you know it and you've heard it and you've heard it and you've heard it, and so finally when it's time, it actually is a new experience for me now,
Mhm,
because now that it's out there and now
mhm,
that you perform it live for people. um, I think that it's so funny because we did three at the single release. There were three different
mhm,
showings, and each time was something different for me, and it became more comfortable for me, and it became more of a story for me to tell. Because honestly, tell people there's so much going on in this world, and we thought that post pandemic that it was going to be, everything was going to be smooth and everything was going to
mhm.
be, but no, things have gotten crazier and things are moving a lot faster.
Agreed.
So, it's good to be reminded to just take it.
Yes.
You only have one life.
Mhm.
Take your time and enjoy it. Because you realize that all these things are only. You never know what's going to happen. So it's good to just take your time and enjoy what's in front of you.
Oh, that's so well spoken. It's beautiful. You really do give us again that hope in it. And I love that your music overall is inspiring. But I
Thank you.
want the listening audience who said, Christopher Weaver, what's going on? Now we see CJW. What's up with that? What's going on with the rebranding?
So we wanted to um, put ourselves out there in a way
Mhm.
that was that wasn't competing with anyone else. And so, there's the Chris Weaver band out of
Yes.
Tennessee, which Chris Weaver, he's great because
Yes.
we've met, I've gone to Tennessee and I've stayed at his
Oh,
house, and
so
but we wanted
special.
to, yes,
Yes.
we've done a podcast together just because it was like, so once I got on The Voice and once I started recording, he says I'm typing in my name and I'm seeing this African American singer, and I'm like, what?
Yes.
So we met and we got to spend some time together, and he's great guy.
That's dope.
But we wanted to put myself out there where there was a way for people to find a distinctive way. And so
Yeah.
CJW, those are my initials.
Yes.
So my name is Christopher James Weaver, and so that's what that stands for. And we found that it was the best way to put
Mm.
myself out there and to be distinct. So
Yeah, I love that. Now I want to ask you about your overall style. I love the style. You presented yourself so well on Friday night for your new release.
thank
How
you.
was that to have everyone? You're so welcome. How was everyone that came out? What was the feedback that you personally heard?
Well, Tony, my stylist Tony,
Yes.
he was great. We
Shout out
we
to Tony.
we got together and he pulled some things for me, and uh, I remember in the middle he goes, are you liking this? I was like, yes. I said, believe me. I said, when it comes to clothes, when it comes to style, like I will be completely honest with you because I refuse
Yes.
to go out looking any kind of way. And so we got he pulled the option that I wore on Friday, and so he goes. I remember he goes, so we're done. You know? I go, yeah. So then
Yeah.
we're done. He goes, okay. He said, I thought this would take much longer. No, I was like, I know what I like. I know what I feel comfortable in. And I think the response was really great, and I feel like, again, in coming into my own, it was
Mhm.
it was giving more of a grown, and more of an adult look, but yet
Wow.
stylish. And so I was so grateful, because that's the thing. People can put you together with a stylist, but
Mhm,
but
mhm.
literally, I remember from the moment that we walked in the store, he started speaking things, started talking about things, and I was like, okay, so I know already we're on the same page. So it worked out. It worked out great. I loved
And
it.
that makes a difference.
Oh yes,
Said he was speaking your language and you could relate, and you both, came to a very, very inspiring look. I mean, it captivated the mode of what you were presenting to us that night. All your songs. So who does your song selections?
so uh, actually, my producers as well, as Mark Adams, my music director. So they came together and they
It did.
got those songs. Yeah.
Absolutely. The flow was brilliant. It really was. You just
See, I
took us
love it
from
because I'm
one
I'm
level to the
I'm
next.
an old school fool. So I
I know. I
uh,
love that. I love that you inspire people. And so, but you take an old song now, and I see why that shoe came at you. I see why that shoe, it just had to come because you take a song and you own that song, and we hear CW, we hear CJW.
thank you,
We
thank you,
do. You just make it your own, and we forget about whoever sung before you.
thank
Like
you.
who's that other artist? We don't know.
And I tell people all the time because I think I used to work at a mega church, and I remember we'd rehearse, and one of my drummers used to say, "This is not how they did it on the CD." And I remember I used to say to him, I said, "Gary, I go, if we did it exactly like they did on the CD, there'd
Mm,
be no purpose for people to come into the church. They could just sit out there until the preacher's preaching, and then come in. Then I said,
mm,
we want to present something different, you know."
absolutely.
So I think I've taken that. I've always lived by that. That although yes, it's a great song, and I don't
Mhm.
want to take away from the integrity of the song,
Yes.
but you want to present it in a different way.
Yes. And you actually have already done that with your own, and we want to go back to Take Your Time. I've heard several renditions of Take Your Time. I mean, where you are like giving it to us in a song tree and then a little jazz here and just a little a cappella over here. And I'm like, whoa, Chris, come on.
Yes, and that. So this has been the fun part about it is
Mhm.
that so we did the studio recording and then I was like, okay, yes, I love this. And I just knew I couldn't wait to get together with that live band. And so once we got in rehearsal with that band, I said, oh, this is it. Like I love it. And so
Yeah.
it's just, and I think that's the fun in it as well,
Mhm.
is to take your own song, because I feel like you can navigate your own song the best.
Definitely you
So to
can.
take your own song and to be able to presented in a different way, or in a just a different style, is really, that's what music is. That's the joy of music.
Oh, you have just touched my heart chord right there. You just pull that string because if I can't feel it, and if you notice, every time I mention your songs just flow in such a way that I'm. So we need to tell Gary, if you're listening, take notes. Have your artists to own the song because you do. You make me feel so good when I hear "Take Your Time." I told you I feel relaxed, and I can say, "Listen, you need to take your time with me."
Yes.
And that's what an artist's job is to have that audience listen and really receive what you're bringing. You're
Mhm.
bringing something to us, and so your audience received.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for doing such a wonderful, amazing presentation of yourself and good music. So what's next for CJW?
Well, so you know, hopefully, we're talking about the next single already. So,
Yes.
which
Okay, I'm ready.
I'm very excited about. And
You should.
I leave for a cruise in 2 weeks to go on tour with Booker T. and I was just in London last month at recording at Abbey
Mhm.
Road. So there's a project that I'm doing that should be out within the next year or two, maybe. So it's a big project,
Yeah.
and so and then just I'm working on a number of things. I was just saying this the other day. It's so funny because when things start to manifest. They don't
Mhm.
manifest just one at a things start to manifest together. And so I'm in my
Yes.
season of manifestation. And so
Um,
you can look out because there's actually and also I'm actually in the final runnings to do background singing for a pretty famous R&B singer. So,
okay.
so,
Well,
sure.
they would miss their opportunity for greatness if they do not
Thank
select you.
you. Thank
Yes.
you.
Yes, you bring something to the table. So please keep me posted in regards to that. But we always like to leave the audience with some wisdom nuggets and some direction as well. So,
Mhm,
you, as an artist who has been in the industry long before we even knew what the voice was,
mhm.
you can give some great advice. You've traveled all over the world. And so, I would love for you to just share with an inspiring audience, artist what are the necessary steps to take, and then share with them some of the challenges as well.
Yes, yeah. I mean, the number one thing is to be persistent, keep going. Um,
Yes, definitely.
because it really is like you don't understand that each no is really a building block to that yes. And
Absolutely.
it really is important to learn your surroundings because I mean you're
Mhm.
going to be in, especially when it comes to music, you're in different atmospheres, you're in different settings, and not everything can go in every setting. So it's knowing how to be presentable in each situation. So
I love that. You're a very wise artist as well,
thank
because
you.
you just hit on something that I've noticed. You're so welcome. Some artists do not take the time to really, there it goes. Take your time, guys. There it is. That was another plug. I love it. But no, on a serious note, you know your audience. So when you know the audience that you are presenting a song to, you know how to, you know, have that atmosphere just right. And so you do a little bit of everything. Kind of tell us all the different genres that you really are trained to sing in.
Yeah, I mean, I've sang in choral ensembles. I've sang at Carnegie Hall with choirs. I've sang. Um, I was in Iowa for 8 years, so I
Okay.
sang for uh, the Midwest, in Middle America, and I remember when I was on The Voice, and when I found out I was doing Try a Little Tenderness. Um, I was fine because I've sang it in cabaret bars. I knew how to
Yeah.
do like the 11 o'clock number and hit them. And I remember one of my vocal coaches, Bird, said, "Now we're going to teach you how to sing it for America because it's not
Ah,
necessarily the song you sing; it's the way you present it. And so you can
absolutely.
present it as a way where it could be more relatable to
Mhm.
everyone. And so that was one of the key things that I've learned and that stuck with me really is that
Mhm.
it's not really the song you sing; it's how you present it.
It's
So
how you present it. Wow. And again, I would say you have nailed that. You are that type of artist. And with that being said, I do believe that that artist would not miss their opportunity for greatness to be a part of their team. But again, I want to stress you have an amazing professional team that has really gotten you to this place. And I expect to see great things. Audience, stay tuned. That's all I'm gonna say. Stay tuned for more from CJW. I love saying that, CJW.
thank you.
Yes. Leave us one more thing with yourself. What is it that you love doing when it comes to your audience, your fans?
I honestly, I love interacting. I love interacting with my audience. I know people who I have friends who say I don't like doing meet and greets. I don't like do that. I love it all. I love
You
all of
love
that
it all.
because
Good.
I feel like these people don't have to come out and support you.
Come
So
on.
and I remember growing up and some of my favorite artists seeing them and being, just a hand reach away from them and not being able to connect with them. And so I
Um,
always said that for me, that I was always going to, I was never, that was never going to be me. That I was going to interact with my audience and every person that wants to speak to me because it's the people who really make you who you are. You don't have to buy the album, you don't have to buy
Uh,
the CD, but you choose to do that. And so I'm
yes.
very grateful for that.
Oh, I love hearing that. And the audience does as well. We do want to connect with those who we are fans. We're fans of yours. We love
Thank
what
you.
you're doing. I love that you are that personable individual. So if you see CJW anywhere, make sure that you take the time to say hello.
Yes, please,
So
please.
with that being said, I thank you once again for coming on the show. You have brought so much to the table so far. So I'm literally on the edge of my seat waiting to see what's the next step. What's the next CD? What's the next you said you're working on a single. So
So yeah, we're still working.
yeah,
You know,
great
it's
projects.
like this is a break, but it's like nope, we're back to work. Well,
Yes. So tell us, how can we find you? Well, we know we have information under your picture and my picture of how to book you, who's your publicist, and
yes,
also the Sound Heard, which is the media production that you're signed with. Congratulations.
Sound Records. Shout out to Sound
You
Records.
selected the right individuals and they selected you as well. So it's a
Yes.
great team. But tell us on social media how we can follow you.
Yeah, you can find me on Instagram and Facebook, Chris Weaver, and you can find me on TikTok at CJ Weaver Muse underscore
Yeah.
music, and yeah, I think those are the
Yeah.
main ones, right?
I love it. I love it. Well, if you guys are like me, I take the time. Take your time.
Yeah.
I do. And I do. I follow you on Instagram and I'm gonna check out the TikTok. I don't think I've seen you or
Well,
that
it's new.
maybe. Oh,
It's
it's new. Okay, okay. I was getting ready to say because
listen,
I'm a little stalker, you
I'm,
know. I
I'm
know
I'm
how to
I'm
start
I'm young, but I'm
stalking.
not that young, so I'm trying to figure it out.
Well, let me tell you, you're doing phenomenal on Instagram because you really helped me really enjoy the song. That's why I was able to hear the different
Again, shout out to
presentations.
my team. They shout
Shout
out
out
to
to the
my team because
team.
they have
Yes.
pushed me, and I'm like,
Yes.
Jason, I'm like, I don't want to do this, but they pushed me and say we
We
have
have
to
two
do this, and so I'm so
professionals.
grateful for them.
Yes, and I'm so glad that you appreciate them. They also appreciate you. Brian is a dear friend. I'm just so grateful that I'm connected with him. And so I expect to see more things. Is there anything you want to tell America about what you expect and what they can expect from you?
Yeah, just expect to see more of this face.
Yes, let's see more of the face, know who he is. I love the rebranding, and you gave us that information of why it was the rebranding. That interesting story. I think you and Chris should do a show together. I know you said y'all have something before, but that would be great. I would love to
Yes,
see
yeah.
that. That would bring out some.
We've been talk. Listen, it's in talks.
It's in the talks. I love it. I love it. So I didn't say anything that's new. So I love that. But thank you again for coming on. Again, everyone, follow that face. As he said, I love that. CJW, you're doing great things. His song, Take Your Time.
Yes.
I'm not going to put you on the spot to have a song, but I'm telling you, your vocals are amazing. And I don't want to break my screen throwing my shoe at you.
You know,
Because that is the highest form of acknowledgement that you did that.
yeah,
Yes, you did that. And
that
but you always do. So again, audience of Simply Free Little Talk, on a serious note, take your time and listen to a man who has a dynamic voice. Your range is just so phenomenal. It's just unlimited. So again, thank you for coming on a Simply Free Little Talk.
Thank you for
Keep us
having me.
posted for the next single and just let us know what your plans are. We want to see you all over the world.
All right.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, this was amazing, guys. He is phenomenal. The vocals, the range is just, oh my God. Just, you have to see it for yourself. You have to hear him for yourself. And even his performance, I encourage all of you to go back from his new release, which was on Friday, October 14th. You can catch the concert on Instagram and also on my Facebook page, Free Little Little. Check him out. He's phenomenal. Thank you for tuning in. Again, you have the booking information in the comments, and I thank you for tuning in to the Simply Free Little Talk. You just heard an amazing artist doing great things. Thank you.